In this week's video, I'm back in the lush rainforest of the Otway National Park here in Victoria. So photographing in this location can be extremely difficult, as you can see. Chaotic, messy, lots of distractions in your scene. So I thought I'd take it easy on this one and just take some documented images. Nothing too fancy. Just walk along the track here. If I see a nice tree or a nice scene, I'm going to set up and take the image. Sometimes we can take ourselves a little bit too seriously in landscape photography, instead of just getting out with your camera, having a bit of fun. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. Just get out, see what kind of images I can grab in this beautiful, lush rainforest.
G'day everyone, the Otway National Park here in Victoria. Along the track here, the Tripli Falls. It's a 2.5k walk, circuit walk. Just lush, beautiful rainforest. So landscape photography or taking photos within a scene, a location like this is quite difficult, as you can imagine. Not only did I think it'd be a lot more overcast today, I am getting bursts of light coming through. So setting up and finding a composition or an image that tells a story of this place, I have to wait for the sun to go in between the clouds, so it's not coming through and blowing out the highlights and the contrast and just making it really difficult to shoot. A little bit of wind in here too, which doesn't help, but I'd rather have wind than beams of light coming in. Yeah, so come along this track, I'm looking up at these massive ancient trees. Definitely a Myrtle Beach up in there, and of course Mountain Ash. And I think the best way to approach this is I'm going to go square crop on my camera here. So 1:1 square crop ratio. And then what I'm going to do is just look for really cool parts or aspects of this forest and just shoot them, and I'll bring you guys along. Hopefully, you know, if you've never been to this part of the world, you can appreciate it. I think a lot of people sort of think Australia's this massive arid dry country, which, you know, probably a lot of it is, but we do have lush rainforests like this dotted all up at the east coast of Australia, from right down here, well, from Tasmania to Victoria, all the way up through to Queensland. So yeah, so I'm going to set up this first shot and take you through it, just looking across the path here, which I don't think I'm going to get in the shot. I'm looking across at some Mountain Ash and Myrtle Beach. So that's what I'm talking about, square crop ratio. And by doing this, I'm just focusing on the trunks of the trees back in the distance there. And it's taking out all the clutter, the sky, distractions, I'm sorry, it's taking out all the distractions and some of the clutter. Although this is just one big clutter, this area. And yeah, so like I said, as I'm panning across or looking out across the trees here, I'm looking for, you know, some interesting, just take the shot while the sun's zipped in behind a cloud. Just looking for really cool parts of the trees, moss on some of these massive mountain ash back here, and there's some vines growing up this other tree here. I think it's a Myrtle Beach or some kind of beech tree to the left of the frame. And of course, anchored down at the bottom here by these giant tree ferns. So it's always good to get the first image off. Get on the frame of the camera. It's always good to get the first image off. And then we'll carry on and see what else we can get. So I'm halfway along the track now. Come to this viewing platform. Something I like about these platforms is they're high up on the ridge. You're looking down on the valley, so it gives you an advantage point you wouldn't normally get in a rainforest like this. You know, you're normally looking straight on at the trunks, or you have to look up, or do, like I mentioned in my last video, pano sort of sections of the whole rainforest itself. But here, you got the advantage of looking straight across the some of the trees and branches and limbs through here. And I like this image because it's anchored on the right here, my right, by this tree, and it's got moss, a bit of light hitting it. And then I'm looking through, I got this cool tree. It's got an S bend through it almost, and it's got all these ferns growing off it. And the sun's gone behind clouds there, and it's making for some for a nice image, I believe. Anyway, you can hear that creek roaring, all those waterfalls. I've actually walked off this platform and down into the valley down in there, and I'll stick a link up for that video here somewhere. The actual, if you go off this platform here, you'll be ever here. Tripli Falls, you can follow that down. It's not a national park graded track, it's people have just made it walking down there. So yeah, you get down in the valley, absolutely stunning. So I'd recommend getting down in there. It's been raining, it's muddy and slippery, so just be careful walking off the edge here. But yeah, images like this, you know, I don't know, hopefully it's nice. I'm going to chuck it up for you. And something like this is just about experiencing nature more than anything, getting out, grabbing some images, having fun with it. All right, so I'm going to chuck this image up, and then as I'm pretty much at the bottom of the circuit, or halfway through now, the rest of the walk sort of back up and out, but I'm sure I'll get a couple more images on the way out of here. There's this image anyway. So I'm at the actual falls now, Tripli Falls. Not sure if you can hear me over the extremely loud, massive waterfall back here. I've shot it before, but I didn't bring any filters. Two, the sun is coming out between clouds. So yeah, bit of a struggle. Shot most about everything today in square crop ratio. I'll tell you what, square crop ratio is so underrated. I don't know why people just don't shoot in it more. It just distracts, it just takes away all the distractions in your frame, and you're focusing on just that aspect you want. If you haven't, or don't shoot square crop ratio, sorry, on the back of your camera, try it, do it. It'll put a whole different dimension on your photography. See, I'm gonna do a square crop just to the falls in here, that middle section. Wait for that sun to go behind the cloud, which is about to. And yeah, try and get the shutter speed as slow as I can without obviously any filters. Drop the ISO to 50, and yeah, I've got to do it now. So yeah, managed to get a couple of shots off the falls, and it's pretty much not far back to the car now, probably a 5-10 minute walk. Yeah, really loved coming out and shooting today. It was just something a little bit different. I know I shoot in woodlands, but I was more, I slowed down, took my time, shot in square crop. I think every image I might have shot in square crop. I'll say if I put it up. And yeah, just thoroughly enjoyed my time out. Hope you enjoyed this beautiful part of Australia and Victoria. The Otway National Parks. If you're ever in Australia or Victoria, you've got to come here. It's a must. But yeah, chuck these images up that I'm going to play around in here. I'll see you back at the car. Oh, wow, back to the car, 2.2k walk. No worries, do that again. Yeah, Australian rainforest. The great Otway National Park. Got to get down here. It's stunning, as you can see. If you're ever in a situation like this, I'd recommend going square crop and getting rid of all that clutter and distractions in your images, especially in such a distracting location as the one I was just in. But yeah, gonna take a moment before I drive out of here, get some oxygen back in the old brain. Thanks for coming along, guys. Really appreciate it. Say every week. Yeah, can't thank you enough for sitting through my videos and hearing me talk and putting up with it. But yeah, see you on the next adventure. Have a great week. Get out and shoot square crop. All right, guys. See you later.